But it was last year that we told you the story of David Blakeney, who was held in 4-point restraints for up to 2 weeks. He died at 32 years old. Now, his cause of death was a bleeding ulcer, although his family believes that him being held in those 4-point restraints had something to do with his death. This is what the sores looked like after he was released from those 4-point restraints. And according to his attorneys, he had these pressure sores and also sores around his ankles and his wrists as well.
Hello, critical thinkers. Hope all is well. Please like the video, share the video, comment below on the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please also click on the bell notification icon and select all so that you will be notified when I go live. This article is from the Marshall Project. Shackled for days and weeks, a federal report finds widespread abuse in prisons. The report by the Justice Department's internal watchdog comes after an investigative series by the Marshall Project and NPR exposed similar abuses. One person died in federal prison after being kept in restraints for more than 2 days. Another was held in restraints so tight that afterward, part of a limb had to be amputated. A third person was confined in restraints for 12 days, then 30 days, and then again for 29 days. These abuses are outlined in a new report from the Justice Department's Office of the Inspector General, which is highly critical of the Federal Bureau of Prisons' use of restraints on prisoners. The report concludes that federal prison officials violated their own rules, shackling prisoners to beds and chairs for hours or even days, sometimes using restraints on both wrist and ankles. Additionally, they violated a separate rule that prohibits the use of restraints as punishment. In response to the Inspector General's findings, the Bureau stated it agreed with the report's recommendations and would revise its policies and practices moving forward. The report follows an investigative series in recent years by the Marshall Project and NPR, which exposed abuse in federal prisons, including the overuse of restraints and shackles so tight that prisoners report scarring and permanent injury. The OIG reviewed 6 years of Bureau records and found thousands of instances of abuse. Those included thousands of incidents of inmates held in restraints for 16 hours or longer, hundreds of which were held in restraints for more than 24 hours and some for over a week or weeks. However, the investigators noted that their work was limited by inadequate record keeping at prisons. Clearer and more robust policies would assist the BOP in protecting inmates from abusive treatment, shielding staff from false allegations, deterring misconduct by staff, and holding staff who engage in misconduct accountable, says the report from William Blyer, Acting Inspector General, to William Marshall, the new director of the Bureau of Prisons. The report does not identify specific prisons or prisoners, nor disclose their gender, but some of the details are disturbing. The person who died had been placed in a restraint chair with restraints on both wrists and both ankles for more than 2 days, according to the report. Less than 2 hours after being released, they were sprayed with pepper spray, following an alleged altercation with a cellmate, and placed back into the restraint chair. 5 hours later, the prisoner was found unresponsive and later pronounced dead. An autopsy concluded that the person died from a painful blockage of blood flow, a severe result of sickle cell disease, which was complicated by being pepper sprayed and placed in prolonged restraint. The Bureau's rules allow the use of restraints when a prisoner's behavior poses an immediate risk to themselves or others, that the rules explicitly prohibit restraints from being used as a method of punishing an inmate or in a manner that causes unnecessary physical pain or extreme discomfort. The Marshall Project and NPR revealed similar misuse of restraints. At the Special Management Unit in the federal penitentiary at Thompson, Illinois, prisoners described what they called their Thompson tattoos, the lasting and sometimes permanent marks on their wrist and ankles from restraints applied too tightly and left on too long. At the federal prison at Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, the Marshall Project and NPR reported that Sebastian Richardson was punished for objecting to being placed with a new cellmate he feared. He was put in restraints for 28 days, during which time he was uncuffed only once. As a result, he was unable to use the toilet and often forced to sleep on the floor of his cell. Following reports of widespread abuse, the Department of Justice shut down the disciplinary units at both Lewisburg and Thompson. In response to the memorandum from the Inspector General, the Bureau stated that it is committed to addressing these issues and implementing meaningful improvements, and welcomed the report's recommendations as a crucial opportunity to enhance agency practices and ensure the humane treatment of all inmates. A Bureau of Prisons spokesperson told NPR that the agency cannot comment further at this time because it is still completing a review of the Inspector General's multiple recommendations and requested revisions. However, the Bureau informed the Inspector General it would take steps to prevent the prolonged use of restraints and conduct more frequent checks and thorough documentation of prisoners in restraints. That's the end of the article, but I would love to hear what you have to say about this. Do me a favor in the comments section. Let me know what you think about the use of restraints at these federal prisons, and if you believe these restraints are being used as punishment, and whether these officers should be disciplined or face criminal charges for using these restraints as punishment. If you found value in this video, please like the video, comment below. Don't forget to share the video. And if you feel that I've earned it, please subscribe to the channel. My goal is to give you honest and direct feedback and go deeper than what the mainstream media is telling you. Take care, God bless, and see you next time.